All right, so some of the known issues and fixes coming with sailing. All right, so recent hotfix. This was on Thursday, November 20th. The Horizons Lure and Whirlpool Surprise. The requirement to unlock drink crates was accidentally lowered than the original intended. They were mistakenly being unlocked based on the number of charts done rather than the intended number of seas completed. The corrected requirements are as the follow. The Kraken Ink Stout would be 5 seas in the Ardent Ocean and the 5 seas in the Unquiet Ocean. The Pearldance Bitter is the 8 seas in the Western Ocean and the 5 seas in the Shrouded Ocean. The Trawler's Trust is 50 seas across all oceans, and the Horizons Lure is 70 seas across all oceans. Whilst revolving this issue, we also noted that XP buffs from the Horizons Lure was not providing additional XP for Barracuda trials or port task completions as intended. We are currently investigating this and will update you when we have more time to share. We understand that these news will be undoubtedly upsetting for those to hear who've already unlocked these rewards early. And we've also seen comments regarding the reward space for the charting being underwhelming outside of these. In addition to the changes listed above, we are also opening to buff the effect of the Whirlpool Surprise drink. Currently, the Whirlpool Surprise provides you with an invisible +2 sailing boost and a buff to your crew's deckhandiness and helmsmanship. Because we recognize that no player likes a nerf to XP rate, we're considering offering an additional bonus to that would provide you with 1.5% additional XP, sailing XP. Please note we wouldn't be able to provide sailing XP for this change retroactively, and the 1.5% XP would not apply to the port task completions nor to Barracuda trials until we've resolved the issue described with Horizons Lure above. Players who obtain drink crates rewards prior will no longer benefit from the effects without the correct requirement, even when stored in their keg. Additionally, Whirlpool Surprises and Horizons Lure XP boost effects do not stack together. Let us know how you feel about these changes. Oh, someone completed the quest. No, GZ. Maybe? Can I GZ? There you go. The Dwarf Multi-Cannon has also been re-enabled to work against sea creatures. Both the Dwarf Multi-Cannon poison damage and burn damage now scale properly in line with damage reductions that regular combat has against sea creatures. I knew that was intended. So, along with that, what they're currently working on as for today, right? Ahoy Sailors, as we mentioned in our previous update, we buffed the sea charting XP last night, which should help to make your early sailing grind a little faster. As a result of this change, we've retroactively been granting players back the difference in XP gained via a cold fix today. Some people have gotten it. I don't know if everyone has. I know that I did. When I logged in earlier, I saw a weird buff to my XP. It said I was at 120% for the current level. So I think I went up about a level and a half with these changes. Game worlds were been taken offline for at least 40 minutes. And any accounts that were impacted by the 100 sailing XP or more will benefit. So everyone should have. I don't know if Leary did. Leary, are you here? Did you get the buff like it was intended? Like, did you get your XP finally? I know I did. I don't know if you did. Let me know if you did or didn't. Some of the already fixed issues are ones coming, right? So the boat names, I think we were aware of that. We realized that some of the names were a little too wild or a little controversial, almost. And we've seen that get taken away. I believe they said that if you're not fond of destroying your ship, as it says here, around level 60 sailing, you should be able to name your ship yourself. So yeah. Behold what? Oh, you're back. Welcome back. You made it right back in time for the YouTube video. All right. Cargo hold multiplayer. Currently, the ability to board other boats is linked to your status. Whether your private chat is all friends or set to friends, all, or off, this meant that players were able to board your boat or other boats depending on your settings, right? I was on Pseudo's boat last night, shit talking the whole night. They'll allow you to have access to items within the cargo hold of the ship. Whilst we appreciate the thematics of piracy, it's not immediately obvious to players that these settings control access to your boat similar to a player-owned house. To resolve this issue, in short term, we're locking the cargo hold entirely to only be accessible to the captain, preventing any form of multiplayer interaction. Yeah, it was an absolute blast last night. Next week, we're going to add a setting to allow you to open up again for other players. It will be default to off, and if you want to avoid unwanted players getting on your boat, continue to use friends or private for your status, which will prevent it. And then we'll explore how to adjust these settings for the cargo hold later, maybe how to share items, friends only, clan only, etc. Some of the lost items. So the following sea drinks teleported you away from your boat, which was intentional. God, I've had a few of these. They sucked ass. But as a result, the game unintentionally wiped items from the cargo hold as well. People lost Slug Bomb, the Slug Bomb, the Way Home, the Elven Wine, the Fishier Stout, Exile's Welcome, Winter Sun, Martini, Portal Perry, and Sea Shandy. Holy shit, I didn't think about it. You know how this was like screwing with that? Remember the people who I had the issue where you like dreamed of the bank and all your stuff got banked? Imagine if that got screwed up. That would be a problem. Imagine, I would have been so pissed if I lost my Bofa and my crystal armor that day. All right. We successfully fixed the bug. However, we are aware that some player lost items alongside this post. We've deployed a fix to restore the following items to those impacted: cannonballs, deep sea trawling, fish, including the offcuts, and repair kits. Another thing, cargo hold, preventing items from being lost. Currently, the cargo hold wipes items upon capsizing or teleporting. This was an intentional design choice as content is balanced around players sailing to and from various locations. However, we appreciate that it can feel punishing and frustrating to lose items, especially if you have stored within your cargo, or especially if you have many stored within your cargo. Today, we're releasing a hotfix to limit the amount of cannonballs that you can store up to 2,000 of each type. Next week, the team will discuss further changes as we explore alternative solutions. Other also fixed an issue where wealth restriction caused group airmen not to be able to withdraw port task cargo. Coming next week, as more feedback comes in, we'll continue to listen and triage bugs as quickly as we can. Here's an update on some of the more important bugs that we're aware of which impact you the most. So boats getting stuck, pseudo, we had that option or that problem quite a few times last night. We'll seek to resolve some of the ways that boats are getting stuck, especially around ports. Literally was that. I think pseudo had to log out 3 times last night because of that, especially because I probably was on the boat when I wasn't supposed to be. So, and that'll happen via an engine fix. For other areas, we'll need to look into them case by case, but we're making a space within the Osrs Discord. The link's right there to report these areas. So it'd be great if you could send us any reports if you find them, and we'll investigate as soon as we can. The shipyard. The check materials prompt at the shipyard is currently turned off by default. In the next week's update, it will be on by default. Make sure to check the sailing settings in your setting menu. You can see a full list of sailing settings here in the section below. We're currently investigating how we can make it clearer for players to get back to Pandemonium if they're teleported away during the quest. We're also exploring feedback from the UIM community about restrictions in the cargo hold. Leary, you're the only UIM here. We're fixing an issue with the collection log button for the Shellbane Griffin opening up Scurrius's tab. Okay. Fixing various typos that we've spotted. Adding the sailing skill. The fuck you mean? Yeah, there's UIMs, I think, not very happy about that. Oh, that's right, 29. 29, you have been on more than just your UIM lately. I'm sorry. You've been playing a lot of other accounts. Your UIM, you just hopped on it today. Okay. Just recently, at least from I can tell. All right, my bad. Look. Leary's the only one that's usually in here really bitching about his UIM. A lot lately, at least. Adding the sailing skilling event option into the clan tabs. Oops. Well, I say bitchy, I mean, a lot. Yes, you have them. Don't say a lot in quotes. Sharks don't have bones, but in Gillinor they do. Some sea creatures are dropping bones when they shouldn't be. This will be fixed next week. Enjoy those bones while you can. Yeah, sorry, I'm not taking it deep. Well, hey, you're gonna get your cargo hold fixed, so be happy. We'll fix an issue where using repair kits in the shipyard doesn't visually update your boat's HP in the sailing menu. Completing Pandemonium will be made a requirement before you can use a spyglass. They won't fix it if they're clueless. I don't know what restrictions they're talking about. You guys are probably referring to like it would be space, right? They're having like, or they're are gonna make it so you can have more space, or what do you, many issues? Okay. It only talks right there though about the cargo hold, so I'm curious what the restrictions or other issues you're thinking of. I mean, you can share them. I'm curious because I know that, you know, you're supposed to be tied to your inventory. Your cargo hold is another place to put items, so that breaks that, you know, UIM inventory thing. So limited spaces, you know, you only have so much you can put in like a death place or a death bank. So I'm just curious. That's all. The C charting interface level requirement filter will take into account quest requirements for charting activities. A very clever player has figured out that there's a sailing mermaid task which should accept ruined medhelm as an answer instead of just iron medhelm. This will be fixed next week. And the construction scaling outfit will also work on shipwright workbenches next week. Oh, wow. Construction scaling outfit will work on the shipwright ones. That's cool. Some of the known issues, this is stuff that they're working on and getting fixed, so we talked about it. So if your boat's getting stuck, even to this point, if you're at a dock, make sure you right-click the gangplank to leave and then relog. If you're out at sea, right-click the tiller to click escape and then relog. You will lose the stuff in your cargo. Remember, they worked on making that better, as it says above. But however, it will reset your ship. And if you're at dock and unable to click the dock to leave or the tiller to escape, then just simply relog right there. Right. Other ones seem to be like the music tracks are described as unlocking on various islands and out at sea. If you're seeing invisible boats, make sure that you turn off Legacy, go or 117 and go back to the normal one, while the developers for both of those work on their own GPU driver stuff. Yesterday, if you're still, you know, if you're having issues with the Rune Light, try disabling the GPU plugin. I haven't had any issues with the regular GPU one. The Legacy was causing issues, that invisible boats. So you can sit on the regular GPU for Rune Light right now and you'll be okay. Some of the fixed issues for sailing that happened yesterday. So you know about, so the high score Hall of Fames were not up to date. They fixed that issue. Daddy's special water, I really hate that it's called that. The special water was more generous than intended and will now give an appropriate level of XP. I think there's a clip of Foe getting like 30,000 XP in like in a split second or something, or maybe it was 10,000. It was absolutely wild. Oh cool, there was a sailing wipe today just now too. I just seen it. UIM wipes. Someone lost their T-bow, Elder Maul, and quite a lot of stuff from sailing. Sailing death. Yeah, wipe storage. Cheaters deserved. That's it. I love it. I just get the notification on my phone. I do follow UIM wipes because I'm not a UIM, but it's funny to see. And other UIMs clearly hate other UIMs. As you can tell in my chat. We balance the sea creatures based on player damage. Remember, the Dwarven multi-cannon was disabled. It's been brought back. It's now been updated along with poison and venom. Sea chart drinks can teleport your boat, which unintentionally wipes your cargo hold. We've restored items back to those who lost them. What happened? A UIM died at the Shellbane Griffin. And it was the first sailing wipe that UIM wipes on Twitter or X had noticed. They lost a T-bow, the Dragon Hunter Lance, a Blowpipe, the Zenny, Ancestral Robe Bottoms, a Elder Maul Prims, a Call, and Tormented Bracelet, along with all their herbs, scales, 101,000 Zulrah scales. That sucks. Burning Claws. Yeah, they lost a lot. November 20th, some of the fixed, or some of the current issues fixed. Yeah, they locked the cargo hold temporarily to only be accessible for the captain, preventing any form. They worked on that, or they're talking about it, right? Removed some of the words used in the pool for boat naming. We know about that. They released that hotfix to limit the amount of cannonballs that can be stored up to 2,000, and fixed an issue where wealth restriction caused GIMS to not be able to withdraw port task cargoes. Did we... Okay. Yeah, we got a lot to go through still. And plenty of time. All right. A primer on sailing settings. If you haven't already, try typing sailing in your settings search bar. You'll uncover a range of useful options covering gameplay, interfaces, and warnings, all designed to make your voyages that a little bit more customizable. Fine-tune how your ship behaves at sea. You can now choose to toggle if the boats stop when you leave the helm. Decide if the heading of a boat that is stopped should start the boat moving. Always, never, or just the first time. That was a sentence. Toggle hit arrows for the current duck and barracuda trials. You can see those there. Adjust how your sailing information appears while you explore. Show the sailing side panel always or only when you're aboard your ship. Choose whether to see a pop-up notification when you chart something new. Toggle if charting hints are shown in the captain's log. Enable chat box messages listing materials when viewing boat customization requirements. And decide if you'd like a warning before dropping items on your boat. Hey guys, this I need to highlight because it is ruthless. Let's say you drop your T-bow and you get off your boat, the T-bow is gone. The instance gets removed. So do not drop valuable items on your boat that you aren't willing to lose. Just keep that in mind. As far as I know, that you can, if you drop something and you get off your boat, that item's gone. I've seen basic items disappear when I get on and off my boat. I'm sure that is included. So just don't drop your stuff on the boat. Avoid costly mistakes with these helpful alerts. Get a warning before you drink from a forgotten crate at sea. Cancel a port task, deposit cargo at a wrong port. Leave your ship while cargo is still on board, a lifesaver for forgetful sailors. And open a cargo hold on someone else's boat where items cannot be retrieved. The 20th cold fix has happened at 4:05 p.m. UTC. Retroactive sailing XP has been successfully added back to all accounts, so there we go. That's what we wanted to see. Everyone should have gotten their XP. And access to Tomes of Masket and Theater of Blood is now restored. It looks like during this time they had cut off access to TOA and TOB for some reason. And the estimation for downtime needed to give them all back was obviously incorrect. But we can see here the most important part was that just removed TOA. Is that the XP has now been granted to everyone that they had missed out, that they made those bumps in. You'll see that down below right in this little segment here. And you can now do TOA and TOB now. So an important part to talk about here is the update on sailing. So on the day one, a lot of people were really upset with the speed of which 1 to 30 really happened. It was something that was not really as quick as it should have been. For instance, I was trying to be as active as possible, but 15 hours and I only got the level 45. Other streamers were obviously much faster. Maybe they were using, you know, like Foe, you're getting an advantage from cheating, using that special daddy's special water or some shit. I hate the name of it, but yeah, so being that the case, they went ahead and took it to time to bump XPs to start off. So we're going to kind of just get into those part of the fix so everyone knows the new XP rates. So generic charting points was increased from 15 to 35. Spyglass charting was from 15 to 50. Drink crate charting was from 20 to 75. Current duck charting from 30 to 125. Mermaid dive point charting from 60 to 175. And weather pole from 120 to weather troll pointing from 120 to 250. This was part of that retroactive. They were able to actually give you back your XP for these or give you that bump because these are all technically logged in their system. In the same sense here, below, level 5 Cs when fully charted goes from 100 to 190, level 12s from 200 to 270, level 22 Cs from 470 to 510, and level 24 Cs from 570 to 590. They also increased the XP gain from completing a port task from levels 1 to 30 by 20%. They increased the XP gain from shipwreck salvaging from 1 to 30 by 20%. And they increased the time all shipwreck salvages last by an additional minute. Understand that the Retroactive will not work for port, task, and salvage as they're unable to track that and keep monitored. So if you're wondering or wishing you were going to get more XP from those times that you're doing shipwreck and port task on day one, you're not. You're only going to get it for any of the charting you did or completion of seas. All right. Note for the shipwreck salvage timing: the timer for the shipwreck salvage despawn starts the moment a player begins the salvage. So if you see someone there, it could last 30 seconds. It's not your fault, or I should say you're not it's not from when you start, it's from when anyone else starts. So try to find those empty worlds, find those random salvages no one's at, or go to one that no one has started. Take advantage of that full AFK time. These changes that they make, though, you won't flash through those early levels, but you'll find yourself halfway to maxing. But we hope it makes it feel a little bit better than it currently does, and make the exploring the seas feel even more rewarding. A word from Mod Kieran, the game designer of Old School. It's been a thrill to see everyone finally jumping on and fully experiencing sailing. Today's been great, and I can't wait to see the culmination of the 99 race over the coming days. XP rates are a huge topic, and they've had a lot of discussion around it. It's one of the most important parts of any skill to get right, and will make the adjustments necessary both now and in the future works if needed. So this means even what they've done today could be adjusted again. Ensuring sailing is in the right space for the long term. You'd like to explain the intentions with sailing balancing. Sailing from 1 to 99 by our calculation is in a good place. It fits nicely within the faster 50% of our skills, and they think that it is appropriate of the level of attention that is required and the number of resources it will consume. The big difference with sailing is that we intentionally took a different approach from the early levels, especially 1 to 30. Most skills in the game race through these levels extremely quickly, some skipping it almost entirely via quests too. We put more weighting on this part of the progression, ramping up XP gains slower than usual until later levels. The primary reason for this was to help the learning process for captaining your boat, ensuring you felt well equipped and ready for the Barracuda trial by the time you got there. We've been clear to ourselves before launch that we don't want to make rash calls, and knowledge that players will not be making optimal decisions, and that efficient methods will be discovered as information is shared. However, we went into launch prepared with the help of our analytics team, who've gotten reports automatically generating, providing us valuable information on the XP rates you're all getting at different level brackets. That has been immensely valuable in spotting what we should change considering the feedback many of you have presented. With that in mind, we're happy to have the info we need to make an appropriate buff here, with the aim of specifically improving 1 to 30 primarily. Thank you again, and apologies we didn't get it where it ought to have been on launch. That said, what we promise is we always will listen to your feedback and adjust it until we're happy it's right. Waiters always win? Sure, I guess. Given that is the case, it's really just cool because, look, at the end of the day, they can admit that they're wrong, especially Mod Kieran. And I do agree 1 through 30 should be something for you to learn the skill. That way Spacebar Warriors can actually understand how to sail or do the skill properly. There's always going to be efficient ways in AFK and also to 99ing that always will be found and always be shared. But at least he's very face forward. He's willing to tell you that, yeah, I think I screwed up, right? Construction XP. We're having the amount of construction XP that was given at sailing workbenches. Unintentionally, sailing to introduce a very AFK style construction method with XP rates that are much higher than we had intended for the effort required. If I remember right, I was hearing it was 360k an hour at the workbenches, making like repair kits or something, or the hulls. I can't remember, but it was busted. It was very busted. We established that the construction XP value for each plank that we tried to stay true to, or there is an established one. However, we failed to consider how AFK this method would be and whether we should stray from the established XP value. We considered other options such as increasing the animation time it takes to create items, but this would have been an unintended negative effects would have brought these on important sailing items like boat repair kits. And adjusting the construction XP from planks feels like the right way to go to resolve this issue, but we'll keep an eye on your feedback. I'm not going to go over this. This is already talked about in the blog post that I already uploaded to YouTube, going over that. It'll keep in mind on to help you how to properly get 1 through 30. So feel free to look through this on your own time. It's sort of like an instruction give you an idea of what some ways you could sort of become, I guess you could say, better or go through the process of 1 through 30. And this little part here is, like always, sailing being one of the biggest updates ever, there's sure to be issues, and then we've seen it ourselves. Opinions of people just not very happy. They listen, and that's the key thing. If you ever have issues, you always go to their Discord. Links are in this blog, which will be at the bottom of the video. Go there. That's a great way to reach out to them. They also have community ran places like X, Reddit, Instagram, and Facebook. So those are also locations where their community moderators are always keeping a lookout for people's problems and sort of being able to help out and get that to the developers, like always. So, you know, big shout out to Isa, always making it great. So, but yeah, so if you need to report a bug or give back feedback, always reach out to the Discord. We're at the Osrs Discord and get into contact with them there. Let them know. All right. That's really it. This is the results so far from day 1 and 2, and they're doing a lot of good work. They're slowly getting this better. Where's my suit, pet assholes? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think they talked about it on Twitter. Aiza did, that there is currently 700. Well, at the time of the post, there was 700 soups already obtained on day 1. It's absolutely fantastic. It's crazy. A lot of spoon people. Someone in my Discord posted that someone had gotten 2 rolls of soup within 45 levels. So yeah, 60,000 XP, and they had gotten 2 rolls of soup. So crazy that his name is Soup, Turtle Soup. But yeah, so all right.